Where do you start when there's so many things on your mind? Has anyone ever heard the phrase that all good deeds are really motivated by the person wanting to do something for themselves? In other words, all your good deeds are selfish because deep down they make you feel good and they're not purely good. You know, there's one specific reason why I completely disagree with that theory. If it makes me feel good to do something good for somebody else, I don't see the problem. I see two happier people instead of one happier person. I think that whole concept is flawed. I mean, what's wrong with two people getting something good out of something? What you're basically being told is that you're a bad person because you did something good for someone else, even though you knew it would make you feel good. I'm saying that's perfectly alright. Should it really matter if doing something good makes you feel good? The whole problem with that concept is that you imply that in order for a good deed to be good, it should make one person miserable. Fuck that. Sometimes doing something good will make you miserable because you just don't see why you should do it, even if it makes you sick to your stomach. Let's say you're in a fight with somebody and neither one of you will apologize, and then you decide, okay, fine, I'll break and I'll say sorry first so that we can move on. Even though you might believe that you shouldn't have to do it, it can help. But let's say I donate $10 to whatever charity, and I know that doing that will make me feel good. I fail to see the issue there. Because whatever charity gets that $10 can put it towards doing something good, and I feel good about it in the process because I think to myself that maybe I've helped somebody. No issue. I guess another really big thing that's been bothering me is what I'm calling imaginary illnesses. There's a magazine called Maclean's, and I remember there was an article about some people in the medical community who started to publish findings saying that temper tantrums are a medical disorder in children. Well, I'm sorry, but I think these people forget when they were kids. Every single kid has temper tantrums. Every one of them. There's no such thing as a small child who didn't cry just because they didn't get their way. These things are normal. If these researchers actually had a brain, they would just think back to when they were 3 years old and say, oh yeah, okay, so maybe we're actually just morons. And go spend your time researching something of value and importance. It really aggravates me that someone would actually think to suggest that's a possibility for a mental disorder. Because imagine doing that to a child. You take perfectly normal behavior, criticize it, and say that it's actually a problem inside the kid's brain. So now that kid is going to grow up always thinking that there's something wrong with them. Probably on a subconscious level, but they're always going to think that way. Because they were told when they were little that because they cry and scream when they don't get their way, that there's something wrong with them. Or that they're sick. Don't take someone at such a young age who is purely innocent and screw them up. You know, I think the only time when temper tantrums are actually a problem is when adults are throwing them. Because an adult having a temper tantrum is someone who never learned how to deal with their feelings properly. And someone who's probably been trained from early childhood that they can always get their way. So what I am saying is that an adult who throws temper tantrums probably got their way all the time when they were a kid. From that perspective, I would say it's probably the parents' fault, because the fact that someone throws a temper tantrum is simply an attitude, not a mental disorder. That kind of behavior is trained, not diagnosed, not hereditary, not a chemical imbalance in the brain, just taught. I hope that someone who might watch this video can agree with me on at least one of these subjects. You are free to disagree. This is just what I think. Well, I guess it's another serious talk complete. I kind of enjoy them. Anyway, that's all, guys. See you later.